We first make our habits, and then our habits make us. Now, in different walks of life, we see that the top 1% tend to have one thing in common. They all have habits that make it easy for them to become the top 1%. Steph Curry is actually known to shoot an average of about 350 shots per day. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you ways on how you can make good study habits stick. Now let's get into the video. Now, there's a saying that I heard quite recently, and it goes like this: good habits makes time your friend, and bad habits makes time your enemy. Now, good habits like eating healthy, exercising regularly, having a supportive social network can quite literally change your life positively 10 plus years down the line, compared to bad habits like eating junk food all the time, living a sedentary lifestyle, smoking, doing alcohol. 10 years plus down the line can actually lead to you not being the best you can potentially be in that period of time. Now, I have a question for you. With all these advantages of good habits and disadvantages of bad habits, why do people still engage in bad habits in the first place? And that's where the habit cycle comes into play. This habit cycle is basically the fundamental framework that can literally transform your abilities to make habits, break bad ones, and modify currently existing habits. Now, at this point, I'm sure you're probably wondering, how does this cycle work? Now, this cycle basically involves a 5-step process, which is the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. Now, this framework was actually gotten from the book Atomic Habits, and if you have the time, please read that book. If you really want to go deep into this topic of habits, just sitting down to understand this fundamental part can quite literally change your life. But over the years, I've noticed something: information is a dime a dozen, but what is really scarce is applied knowledge. Now, if you stayed this long in the video, you actually deserve the applaud sign. It shows that you actually really genuinely want to improve your life and your current study habits. But before we get into the heart of the chapter, if you're really getting value from this video, I would like you to hit the like button. It really helps your algorithm. Now, let's continue. In this chapter, I'm talking about how you can apply these 5 frameworks into your life. And I'm going to start with a cue. Now, what is the cue? For every habit, the cue is basically the trigger for that habit. Now, if you have a habit of, let's say, watching a lot of movies, a cue could be just looking at your laptop on your bed is enough to trigger the reaction to, or the response to, want to watch movies. That leads us to the next part of the cycle, which is the craving. Now, your craving is basically the desire that you have that habit promises to solve. If I tend to watch movies a lot, I have a desire for a change of my internal state or a change of my mood. And that movie or the habit of watching movies actually helps to solve that desire. Now, a good way that you can actually apply this into your life is if, let's say, you want to form a habit of reading regularly. Now, a good cue would be to always keep your books, your study books, where you can easily see them. And then the craving or the desire is basically you sitting with yourself. The craving can actually work both ways. You can crave positively to want something, or you can actually crave negatively to run away from something. Now, personally, I mean, this may sound a bit negative, but a good craving that I use is the fact that I do not want to fail. Really sitting down and really thinking about me failing that thing. I know it sounds a bit weird or messed up, but like the thought of me failing an exam or failing something literally creates, I mean, most people tend to use, oh my God, I want to get A's and stuff like that. But my craving or my desire is actually not to fail said exam. And to the point that it's actually enough to motivate me to want to go to the next point, which is the response. Now, the response is the actual action that you do. That's the action of actually studying. First of all, I started with a cue of making my books easily available to me. Like when I get to my room, I basically see my books on the bed or on the table. The second is the craving, the desire to not fail. I mean, you can make a positive craving like, okay, I want to get like the highest in the exam or something like that. Or you can even have two. You can have a desire not to fail and also a desire to be the best in that exam. I mean, it works both ways also. I mean, the more the merrier even. And the response of actually studying to do what you want to do or to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. It could be, I mean, this transcends even studying. I mean, it could even go into like your side hustle of starting a YouTube channel or starting that business or something. The action that you want that will lead to alleviating that craving. And then, I mean, this is basically the most important step in any habit, the reward, what you get after doing that thing. Now, for something like reading that doesn't really have immediate dopamine responses, like let's say smoking or doing cocaine, you need to create a reward for yourself. Like let's say spoiling yourself with like, let's say a treat with after like a study session, or you could even spoil yourself by watching an anime series or one episode of your favorite anime, which is about 20 minutes, or I mean, if you really want to spend time, you can even watch a movie. But I wouldn't advise that. I prefer spoiling myself with anime actually, because it's just 20 minutes and it's short, and I get to feel good and also save time at the same time. So yeah.
Guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. And if you like this video, I think you're gonna really love a video about how you can study faster and effectively. And remember to always keep it real. Bye guys.